Hello and welcome to today's Bitrix24 webinar, Next Level CRM. Thank you for joining today. Okay, so we'll just first of all go through some introductions. So my name's Sam Connor. I'm part of the sales engineer team here at Interface. We're based in the UK, the US and Hong Kong, and we're Bitrix24 Gold partners. So what we first of all can do is provide pre-sales support so we can help answer any questions you have about the Bitrix24 system. We can then help with the implementation of your requirements so we can really customize Bitrix24 to fit the way you need it to work. If you're interested in the self-hosted edition of Bitrix, we offer our own hosting services and we can provide you with comprehensive training and ongoing dedicated support to help you get the most value out of your Bitrix24 system. Okay, so first of all, let's just go through some introductions as to what Bitrix24 actually is. So Bitrix24 is a collaboration suite of well in excess now of 35, more like 40 different tools now that you can use to help you to manage your business. And there are over 11 million customers now around the world that use the Bitrix24 system. And specifically today, we will be focusing on the CRM system, and the Bitrix CRM is voted within the top CRM systems globally each year. It's an incredibly powerful CRM solution. And the system is available in two different editions. So we have the Bitrix24 Cloud, and there's also the Bitrix24 self-hosted or on-premise solution. So with the self-hosted, you can have that hosted on your own local server or private cloud, or we can provide our own hosting services. In terms of pricing, so prices start from approximately $49 per month for the cloud-based system, depending on which cloud edition you look at. So that ranges from the basic onto the standard, the professional, and then we have the enterprise cloud edition, depending on your requirements. And then for the self-hosted system, that starts at the Business 50, which is $2,990. And you just need to remember in year two, you do need to pay the annual renewal fee for the self-hosted edition, which is approximately 25% of the license fee. Okay, so today's webinar is Next Level CRM. So we're going to be really focusing in on the CRM features that Bitrix24 has. But I guess, first of all, it's important to understand why you can and why you should use the Bitrix24 system for your CRM requirements. And there's a lot of reasons why you should use the Bitrix24 system. I guess before we look at the features we can see on the screen here, one of the key reasons why you would use Bitrix CRM is it's an incredibly cost-effective solution as a CRM system. This CRM system can be set up in a very short lead time, and it's a very good price point compared to other CRM systems out there in the market. So it's a very competitively priced and packaged CRM solution. And then in terms of the features of the CRM system, we have really advanced marketing automation, so we can connect the CRM with the marketing database that we'll take a look at. And this means we can then send out targeted marketing campaigns to try and qualify and capture leads very quickly. So we can create our own customized sales pipelines directly inside the CRM system. So your sales process can essentially be built into the Bitrix24 CRM system. And through this, we can then integrate lots of external platforms such as email, telephony, and those communications can then automatically be integrated into your CRM. So you get to build a 360-degree picture of the activity with your client base directly inside the CRM system. And then we can also look at reporting as well. So we'll see how we can monitor our team's effectiveness, looking at targets, how we can forecast sales and build detailed reports as well. So there's lots of reasons why you should use the Bitrix24 CRM system. Okay, and in today's webinar, we'll cover quite a few different areas of the system, but it will be broken down into different intervals for us. So first of all, we'll look at how we can use the tools to generate leads inside the system. We'll then go through an overview of the actual CRM system. So we'll go through all of the different entities of the CRM. And then we'll do a case study. So we'll see actually how it can look when we convert an inquiry through the lead stages onto a deal. We'll see what activities we can automatically create in the process. And then we'll look at the advanced reporting that we can do inside the CRM system as well. Okay, so for any CRM system, first of all, it's really important to be able to add and generate leads inside your Bitrix24 system. And Bitrix has a huge number of tools that you can use to create leads in the system. And just before we go through these in some detail, just want to let you know, if you do have any questions, please do add them into the chat box on Zoom, or if you have any questions on LinkedIn, please do add those into the question box. We can run through those during the intervals of today's webinar. First of all, we can see here the different ways we can generate leads inside Bitrix. So first of all is the option to import that data. So that's quite important. So if you're moving from another system, you don't want to lose that data. So it's important that we can import the data, and that is possible through CSV import. It's just important to make sure we have the correct custom fields built into the Bitrix CRM system before we do any importing, so then the data imports correctly into the correct areas of the system. So it sounds simple to import, but it is important to get that set up correctly. Otherwise, you will fall into issues and problems there. So it's important to get that done correctly. We also have live chats. So we'll look at this in some detail. So we can embed a live chat system onto your website. So you can then feed live communications directly into your Bitrix system. And not just live chats, but we also have social network integrations such as Facebook and Instagram. So if people send a comment onto your Facebook page, for example, those comments can automatically be fed as chats into your Bitrix system. And these channels here can automatically create leads inside your CRM. Another very popular generating tool are CRM forms. So a really good feature within the contact center is how we can build and design our own web forms inside Bitrix. When somebody fills in that form, which can be embedded onto your website, when that information is entered and submitted, that will automatically, or it can automatically create you a brand new lead inside the CRM system. We also have telephony, so we can integrate your telephone system depending on the make and model. There are different ways to connect telephony, but essentially you can manage inbound calls and make outbound calls directly through the CRM. And what's really nice here is all of those calls can then be recorded, so you have all of that history with your leads in the system. And if somebody calls into your number and that number is not registered in the CRM, we have the ability to create a brand new lead. And here we have the option to create sites. So those are essentially landing pages inside your Bitrix system. Very popular for sites. So say if you've got a marketing campaign, you might design a site to send out a marketing campaign from the CRM marketing module. And that then takes somebody from that campaign to a landing page, which is the site. And then from there, we could connect live chats and CRM forms to automatically feed that data from the landing page into the CRM to generate a new lead. So you can see here how really these different ways to generate leads, they're not separate. All of these can be interconnected from the marketing module to sites where we can add web forms and live chats. All of these are siloed together to help you generate more leads in the system. And there's also the option to add a lead manually as well inside the system. So you can design what information needs to be inputted when you're creating a new lead. So you can have control to make sure the correct information is being added every time a lead is added into the system. Okay, just had a question come in. Someone's unable to attend all the webinar. Will it be recorded? Yes, absolutely. So we are recording the webinar. If you head over to our YouTube channel tomorrow, then the whole recording will be available on our YouTube channel for you. And what I will do is, just while we're on here, I will just add the link to our YouTube channel into the Zoom chat for you there, so you can log on to our interface YouTube channel tomorrow and see the recording. Okay, so let's just go into our Bitrix24 system and let's just take a look at some of those live lead generating tools in more detail. So first of all, I'm just going to go into the CRM system inside our Bitrix24 system. And if you're quite new to Bitrix, so if you've used Bitrix maybe a few years ago, you'll see the menu design has changed slightly in the CRM system. So what I want to do here is show you what we call the contact center, because the contact center has many different tools that we can connect to generate those leads into the CRM system. So what we want to do is go to add-ons, and if we then go down to the contact center, and we can then see all of the different channels we can connect to feed leads into the system. So for example, here we can connect our mailboxes. So we can integrate mailboxes, sync all of our email communications with our clients into the system. And that can then also create a brand new lead if that email address is not registered within the CRM system. We also have the option to integrate telephony. So we can, as I say, make calls directly inside your Bitrix24 system. And I can show you now what that looks like as well. So if somebody was to call the number we have registered on Bitrix, it will pull up the client's information. So you can see there, Mark Moon is calling into Bitrix here. So I can answer, transfer that call, and that call can be recorded directly inside the client's page. And it could create a new lead if that number had not been registered against a client already. And then other popular features, as we mentioned, are live chats and website forms. So you can create these and embed these onto your website. So if we head over to our interface website, you can see our live chat system. And I can then send that message into the team, who can then answer that question from the live chat. And you can also set up website forms as well. So you can see we can embed forms and have that information automatically brought through into our Bitrix24 CRM system. So just the same through live chat, we can integrate social media channels such as Facebook and Instagram. So people message you on those platforms. You can see here, someone on Facebook has contacted us and messaged us on the messenger system, and that has come straight into our Bitrix system. So any live chat messages, any Facebook or Instagram conversations, they will automatically be fed into the chat system here for your teams to respond to. And with any of these open channels, we can configure who those conversations are routed to. So for example, on our live chat system here, we can see these two users in our Bitrix system are the people that the live chats will be routed to. But we could configure this. So if you've got a big customer support team, inside here, I can select the agent queue. So I can customize exactly who is responsible for dealing with those live chats. And we maybe have another social media team who all of the Facebook and Instagram chats would be routed to. So you can distribute all of these different lead tools into different areas of your business, depending on how you work. So you can start to see how customizable this process can be for your specific requirements. Okay, so let's look at some of the contact center tools that can automatically generate leads inside the Bitrix24 system. And now what we'll do is we'll move on to take a look at the modules within inside the CRM system. So we'll take a look at leads, deals, contacts and companies, how we can connect those deals with our contacts and the quotes and invoices directly inside the deal. And we'll also take a look at quite a new feature for Bitrix24, which is called Smart Process Automation, or you may have heard this being called an SPA. Now, essentially what an SPA does is it allows you to create brand new entities inside the CRM system, which you can then connect with other entities. So this kind of takes the Bitrix CRM system to a whole new level of customization and capability. And we'll take a look at some examples of how SPAs could be used inside the CRM system. Okay, so let's go into the CRM. And first of all, inside the CRM, we can see our lead database. So we just saw recently how we can generate new leads through different channels such as email, telephony, live chat, website forms. All of those tools can generate leads and they will come into the lead database here. So if you're new to how CRMs work, leads are essentially used to qualify your inquiries. So if somebody submits a web form, for example, really at that stage, you have no idea if that submission is an inquiry that you actually can work on. Maybe you don't have the resources to actually deal with their request. So what you need to do is you need to qualify every single inquiry before it becomes a genuine sales opportunity. So inside the lead database here, we can see all the information we've captured on our leads. You can see here we've got a lead type, the rating, the source, maybe the region they're from. All of these are custom fields. So essentially you can capture as much information about your leads as you require to really drill down into the data. And this is looking at leads in the list view. And as an administrator, I can customize the UI here. So I can change the layout. I can change what data fields I want to display in the front end here. And then if I move into the pipeline view, it's a slightly different view, but I think it's probably better for leads because here you can see the stages across the top. And then what we can do is we can progress our leads through these different stages like so. So it becomes a really flexible system. And now these stages that you can see here for leads, such as new lead, arrange call, follow-up call, those stages are completely customizable to what your sales process would be. So whether that's having a one-stage qualification process, or if you have multiple stages, you can customize this to really work to your specific lead qualification process. And then inside the lead page, we can create custom fields to capture specific information about the lead. So we can capture all of the necessary data and information. And on the right-hand side, we can see the activity log. So we can see email communications, we can see comments, we can see the live chats or Facebook messages from the lead as well. So all of those communications that we have connected via the contact center will be then fed into each lead's relevant page in the system. And I guess one thing to point out here is obviously there could be a lot of information in the activity area. So you can drill down into any of this data. So maybe we just want to look at all of the comments from our internal teams. So we can drill down into any of this information or just look at all of the communications. So you can really drill down into this data. We can see any planned activities. So inside here, we can plan activities. Okay, so I can plan here a meeting with the lead. I can choose when this meeting, that activity will take place, and that will be added into the activity area here against the lead. And as we mentioned, you can add comments. And I can tag my colleagues on the actual comments as well. And then we can also send email directly through the page here if we've connected our mailbox, and we can have templated email set up like so. And those communications can go straight out from the system here. But what's also quite nice is we can use automation rules as well. So as we progress the lead through different stages, we could create automatic activities. And that could either be communications with the client. So for example, we might send an email at a certain stage of our process, or maybe it's internal activities. So maybe it's a task for the responsible person, or maybe it's a notification to them. There's lots of different types of automations we could set up to essentially automate and streamline your sales process. So I always think a good example to show here is, for example, as soon as the lead comes in from, say, a web form submission, it creates a new lead. And then we can automatically send out a thank you email, thanking them for their inquiry. And it can be dynamically populated with information from the CRM system. So every automation you run can be personalized inside the system here. Okay, so that's a look at leads. And what we can then do is once a lead has been qualified, we can convert that lead into a different entity in the CRM system. So if we qualified the opportunity, it's an opportunity that's worth working on. We can then convert that into a deal, and maybe also a contact and a company which will be connected with the deal. And if we are creating a deal, I can then segment that deal into a specific pipeline. So here, for example, we're segmenting based on geographical location of the deal, but you can create pipelines based on any type of process. So it could be for the different products or services you offer. So let's say if you're a realtor, you would have a pipeline for your selling of properties and also for the rental properties. So you can segment those opportunities into their relevant pipelines. And if we then go into deals, inside here, we essentially, you have a separate database for every pipeline. So here I can see our UK pipeline. I can see every deal that's being worked on, and I can see the different stages that we're progressing the deals through. And once again, all of those different stages, it's completely customizable for each pipeline. So if I go into our USA office pipeline, the stages are completely different to the UK pipeline, and the automations can be completely customized as well. So you can really customize your sales processes inside the Bitrix CRM system to how you need the CRM to work. Okay, and now let's go into one of our deals. So inside the deal, we can associate the client and the company who are connected with the deal. And again, you can add custom information. So again, we can capture custom fields to capture specific data and information. And we have the activity log on the right-hand side. So we can see all of the communications, notes, and comments connected with the deal. And inside the deal, we can add our products and information. So inside here, we have a product catalog. So I can add my products into our deal, which then can generate a value connected with the deal. And what's quite nice, if I just come out of here in a second, I'll just show you how you can then generate a quote. So through the adding of your products, you can then bring that product information into generating financial documents. So this is now brought through that product data into a quote. And then from here, what we can do is we can use templates. So you may have quote or invoice templates. That information can then be mapped with all the data from your CRM system to generate personalized documents directly inside the system. So here we can then generate a quote, pulling that product information, and it's all connected with the deal. So we can see the product, it's brought through our branding and information, and then I can send this quote out through the system here. And this is all connected back to the deal inside here. And now I can progress my deal through those different stages. And as we progress the deal, the value will automatically update inside the system here. So we can see, in terms of forecasting, we can see what value we have at every step inside our deals process. And all of your deals are connected back to your contacts. So inside the customer database here, we have a record for every single contact inside our CRM system. And if we go into the contact area, we can see the log of the information associated with this contact. And you can associate your contact with a company. So Mark Moon here is associated with the company Techco. But what you can do here is you can associate a contact with multiple companies in the CRM system. So you can have that multiple parent-child relationship. And then inside here, we can see some tabs across the top. So we can see all of the sales opportunities that this person is associated with. I can see all of the quotes and all of the invoices. So every single sales entity is then connected back with your contact inside the CRM system. So you have that complete 360-degree connection inside the system here. Okay, so just while we move back onto here, let's just see if there are any other questions that we can help with. Okay, we'll just wait for the connection to respond here. If there are any other questions, please do add it into the question box. We did have a question earlier on about how we can import contact information. The way we can import contact data is via a CSV import. So we can import via CSV. Or if you have data in another system, we could use the API to feed that data into Bitrix. Okay, so that's a look at an individual contact. And what we can then do is if we go into the customer company database, we can then see the overall company as well. So you can store all of the data about your company. And then inside here, we can see the individual contacts that are associated with the company. So again, you've got that connection inside the system here. We then have the analytics area. So we'll look at reporting in some more detail shortly, but essentially all of the data from your CRM system can then be brought into the analytics area where you can build high-level dashboard reports, pulling all of this information. We'll have a look at reporting in some more detail shortly. Another feature to mention, which we did briefly talk about earlier on, is this feature called Smart Process Automation. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to create new entities directly inside your Bitrix24 system that can then connect with other entities in the system. So, for example, you may want to create an area where you can store contract information, and this contract information can then connect with your deals. So when you want a sales opportunity, you may need to create a contract, for example. So we could have a contract entity inside the CRM, which links back to deals as an example. Or another example is if we go back into our contact database, another type of entity you could create using Smart Process Automation is the ability to, for example, if I show you here, you may want to track applicant tracking. So for example, you may have the ability to onboard your clients once they have completed their deal, they're a new customer. There may be a whole process for actually tracking that customer or applicant through a sales process for onboarding the client. So we could create a whole process here for managing the application for onboarding your customers inside the system as well. So essentially you can create brand new entities inside the system using this Smart Process Automation tool, and those can then be connected with the existing entities inside your Bitrix24 system. So it can become a real powerful CRM system, as it already is, but it almost now goes to that next level where we can create additional entities inside the system. Okay, so now let's just go back into our slides. Let's just see if there are any questions that we can answer before we look at the case study. Okay, so a question is coming on LinkedIn. Will you be able to support us to set up the pipelines inside our CRM? So absolutely, that's where we really come in as a partner. We're incredibly experienced in managing the setups of the CRM system in Bitrix24. And it is very important to get your CRM set up correctly, even though, as we've seen today, it can look fairly simple. It's only simple once it's all been set up correctly with the relevant fields, pipelines, and automations. That's when you start to get value out of your CRM system. And we always recommend using a partner such as ourselves to help with an implementation, because we will save you significant amounts of time, and we will enable you to get value out of your input sooner, as we have that system set up for you, working the way you need it to work in a timely manner. Compared to if you try to do this yourself, you will fall into problems, and most likely you'll get a CRM system that simply doesn't add value to your business. So it is very important to budget, to use a partner to help you get the system set up, correctly for your way of working. Okay, I don't think there's any other questions right now. So if there are any other questions, please do add them into the question box and we can run through those for you. Okay, so now what we can do is we can go through a case study to actually see the whole flow of our CRM system in action. So first of all, we will capture and qualify a lead in the system. We can then convert that into a deal, contact and a company, and we'll see how the communication looks directly inside the deal page. And then we'll also generate a quote and connect it with the opportunity and close that opportunity, hopefully as a new sale inside the system. Okay, so let's now move back into the CRM. Now, I mentioned earlier on, if we just go back into the contact center, there are a huge number of tools that we can use to generate leads in the system. One of those is by creating website forms. So this is a very popular tool. So inside the system here, this is the Bitrix form designer. So we can create brand new web forms inside Bitrix, and those forms, we can then take the code and embed those onto your website. Okay, so what we'll do here, I've got a form that I've created earlier on, and I can then add this information on the form. So this is a very simple form. We can have conditional fields inside here, so you can really customize this to your requirements. It can be branded, and like I say, it can be embedded onto your website. But I'm going to submit that form into the system here. And what that will then do is it will automatically create a new lead inside the CRM system. So a new request has come into the system, and I can see here that request has come in right now and the source is pulled in. So you can start to see how we can automate the creation of leads inside the CRM. Okay, so if we go into the CRM system, it's brought through the information about this lead. And again, using automations, I can see that thank you email has already gone out to that lead. So without your sales team having to lift a finger, the lead has come into the system and we've already started to communicate with that lead directly inside the system. So you can start to see how we can save significant amounts of time simply by using the automated processes inside the CRM system here. Okay, now I go into the system. I can also additional pieces of information maybe that I need to capture on the lead. So again, inside here, I could pull in any additional data or information that I want to add. So as we mentioned, you can really customize this to your specific requirements. So I can go into here and edit the information. If I know their number, for example, I could add that into the page. So you can still populate and add more information as and when required. So I'm going to go through here and arrange a call with Peter. So that's created a task inside the system. And I'm just going to update this task here and let my teammates know that I'm going to call. Okay, so I'm going to save that information on the call task. And I can, because I have our telephony set up, I can call directly in the system. Okay, so I can speak with Peter, and then what I can do is if I am visiting him, I could add some notes about the call. Okay, so I'm going to add that history into the system. I'm going to complete the task, move to that follow-up stage. I'm just going to email Peter now just to confirm what we have gone through today. Okay, so all of these communications, you can have templated emails here, so you don't need to manually type any of this information out, by the way. Or if you want to kind of just send a manual email, that can be done here. So all of this history, the emails, the calls, the notes, all of that data is saved inside the system here. And then as we go through here, I can progress and complete this lead. It's now been qualified. We've spoken with Peter, and I now need to convert this into an opportunity because they're interested in a license. So I need to, this is a genuine sales opportunity that our team can work on. And so from here, I'm going to create a deal and a contact. And I want to put this into the correct pipeline. So they're in the UK. So I'm going to put this into our UK pipeline. And that will now create the deal opportunity and connect the contact record with the deal. So you can see now that's pulled through the contact information, and it's automatically been assigned to the relevant sales rep for that region. So we can see Jim has now been assigned to this deal to work on inside the system. So as we go through here, then what we can do is I can add product details for the product that they're interested in. So I can go into here and add our information. So again, there's two different ways. You can add products from the product catalog, or we can generate and add products manually into the product lines here. So you can customize exactly how you want this information to show. So I'm going to save the license course that they're interested in, and let's just change the currency to sterling. And then I can progress through the stages that we're working on. And I can check, again, we've got some tasks that need to be completed. And just to mention, while you're on any tasks as well, you can record the time on those tasks. So if you needed to have a log of the history of time, maybe if you've got lots of tasks in your opportunities, you might want to log the amount of time that you're actually spending on those. We could log the time in the system here. Okay, so we've got the product information. Maybe I need to complete some checks. And we've completed these tasks now. I'm happy that these have been completed. And I'm just going to update my manager to let them know. So another important thing I think to point out here as well is, as we're adding all of these comments, we're tagging our teammates in these. It just allows everyone to be up to date on the latest stage, and not just physical stage here, so the check documentation, but with all of the communication dialogue, you have that complete up-to-date latest information about the deal. So rather than having to waste time having meeting after meeting on different sales opportunities, your teams could just come into here and see the relevant information and then focus on closing more of those sales opportunities. Okay, so we've got our product information. I'm going to move to the quoting stage, and using automation, that can automatically generate a new quote inside the system. And from here, then I can send this quote out to Peter directly inside the system. Or the alternative way is you can manually create a quote inside the system here as well. So it depends what your preference is. It depends how much kind of automation you would want to run inside here. If you wanted to run these manually, then obviously you have the ability to do so, or you could use automation to automatically create these quotes inside the CRM system for you. So that's been created. I can download that. I can send it out as a link as well. And I can even send this to the customer like so as a link. And hopefully they're going to approve the quote. So once that's been approved, I can then generate an invoice. And again, the invoice and the quote is all connected back to the deal and also back to the customer as well. So if I go into Peter's customer record, all of this information will connect back to Peter's contact inside the system. And once that's been completed, the quote's been approved and invoice has been won, I can then mark the deal as completed. And if we go into Peter's contact record, I can then see all of the information about Peter. I can see all of the email communications that have taken place, all of the notes. And if I go into deals, I can see that deal opportunity, and I can see quotes and invoices like so. Okay, so that's where we can manage all of the opportunities there inside our system. So using the contact center tools, we can feed that information into our lead database to generate new leads. We can then progress the lead through the customized stages to qualify the lead. We can convert that into a deal opportunity, and again, manage all of the necessary tasks and activities and communications, and then convert the product information into a quote and an invoice, which is then connected back with the deal. So everything can be connected back in the system. Okay, and really the last area to look at today in the CRM webinar is the ability to report. Now, if we go back into the CRM system, I think the first thing to point out is I would not say there is just one area inside Bitrix CRM for reporting. There are many areas to report. So for example, if you wanted to report in leads, then inside the lead database here, first of all, you could use the lead list view. So because we can customize how this UI looks, I can customize the layout, what information I want to pull into here. And you also can filter through this. So I might want to drill down to the leads of a certain responsible person. I could drill down to this data, and that I could export this information out into Excel. So this is one way, first of all, that we can report inside the system. The next way, again, in leads and deals, if we go into the pipeline view, then here, this is really useful for forecasting because we can see the value. As long as we have a value associated with each opportunity, we can see the value inside the stages here. So as I progress the deals through the system, I can see what value we have at every stage in the process. So this is really useful for forecasting. And then we also have the analytics module. So this does allow you to build dashboard reports based on the data inside your CRM system. So here, for example, I can see all of our sales team. I can see the number of leads they've had, how many they've converted into deals, what the value of those deals are, and then how many of those deals have actually been won and the conversion rates. So you essentially get all of that data is interpreted into really valuable information inside the analytics area. And even down to actually, we could set sales targets for our sales team. And we can then see how well they're working towards their targets, whether that's a monthly target, or it could be you want to set up targets per quarter, half year, or per annum. You can really customize this to your specific requirements. We could also build reports looking at our clients. So you might want to actually analyze how well your clients are performing in terms of their spend. So we could build reports looking at the total gross spend of our clients inside the system. And then you can also do your own dashboard reports, looking at different pipelines. So here I can build out reports looking at different pipelines of our deals information, and you can then also create your own reports inside the system here. So there's lots of different areas that we can use to actually build reports inside the system. And if we go into the contact center, we also have statistics that we can analyze inside the contact center. So all of those different open channels we connect, from live chat, website forms, all of those different channels such as Facebook, they can then analyze inside here. So I can see here the average reply time on our chats. I can see actually for every single session we have, from those different communication tools, I can see when we are most busy with those different activities. So this report here is really useful because it allows us to really determine when we need to schedule staff to be available, to be working inside the system. So again, this is another area where we can build high-level dashboard reports based on the data that's coming into our CRM system. Okay, so let's just see if there are any other questions before we end today's Next Level CRM webinar. Okay, so a question here, do I need to send all of my emails through Bitrix if we've connected the mailbox? No, is the answer to that. It really is your preference. So you can connect those mailboxes, as we've seen, into Bitrix, so you can then have all of the email communication synced with the relevant lead or client in the system. But what that doesn't mean is you don't need to send the emails directly inside Bitrix. You can just continue to use your Gmail, your Outlook, for example, and those communications will then sync into the Bitrix CRM system. So you can just continue to send emails as you do right now, and they will then automatically feed into the system. Okay, can you explain how marketing integrates with the CRM? So let's go back into our Bitrix system. So essentially all of the data from your CRM system, whether that's leads, deals, whether it's your contacts. So inside contacts, we can have contact types. You may have different segmented information. This will then feed all of that data into the marketing module. So there are different types of marketing campaigns I can create. So for example, I could create an email campaign. And if we go into here, then what we can see are the different types of campaigns we can create. So for example, here, if I wanted to create an email campaign, I can upload my own HTML code, or I can use the block features inside here. So I can add my text, I can upload my images. It all uses block format here, so I can add some code, for example, very similar to other marketing campaign designer tools. And once you've created that campaign, I can then choose what segment I want to send this campaign out to. And this is where it talks with the CRM system. So for example, if I wanted to send this campaign out to all of my leads, well, I can click on leads, and then it will feed in every single lead field you have inside your CRM system. So I might just want to send this to all of the leads of a certain lead type, and then maybe also based on the region, if they've given us their region. So you can drill down and send out very targeted marketing campaigns to either your leads, or it could be to your clients, or maybe based on what deals pipeline they're in or their location. So again, you can send out very targeted campaigns because it feeds the data from the CRM system into the marketing module. And then once you have sent the campaign out, there is some more analysis you can actually see on the campaign. So first of all, inside here, you can see a recipient list. So in the marketing module, you can see the number of views. So here we can see the click rates. So who has actually read the campaign, who has clicked on the campaign. You'll see all of this data on the recipient list. And then you can also see the number of views on the campaign and the number of clicks and a click map. So you'll be able to see where on the campaign your clients have actually clicked through. Okay, so in terms of marketing, is it only paid or can you do it organically? So in terms of the marketing module, I mean, this comes with the system. This isn't like pay per click or anything or PPC. This is simply designing your types of campaigns you want to create. And then you can feed the data from your CRM system out to create the campaigns inside the system. Okay, so I hope that helps. Now, if there are any other questions before next week's webinar, please do contact us, sales@intraface.com. We can set up a meeting with you to discuss your requirements in more detail. But just to move on now to look at some of the differences between cloud and self-hosted. A lot of what we're seeing today, it is available on both. So both include leads, deals, invoicing and reporting. Both include smart process automation. Though on the cloud system, if you want smart process automation, the SPA feature where you can create new entities inside the CRM, you have to have at least a professional cloud license. So it's something to bear in mind. On the cloud, you will either see limitations on, for example, the number of deal pipelines you can have, or the number of a specific feature. So just be careful if you are looking at the cloud, make sure that the addition you're looking at has the functionality you need. Both include custom record layouts and custom fields, and both include automations. However, I would say with the self-hosted, you just have that extra layer of capability because you have access to the source code. So it's possible to fully customize. We can integrate the CRM with other systems and also create more advanced business processes as well. So in summary today, we've seen how we can create marketing campaigns inside the system and use the contact center tools to generate brand new leads in the CRM system. And then we've seen how we can completely manage and customize your sales process directly inside the Bitrix CRM for leads and deals, and use automations to save your sales team's times. We can save all of that time by creating automatic communications with clients, activities and tasks for your internal teams, so they can focus on sales opportunities and close those sales. And then we've seen through those integrations in the contact center how you can then get a 360-degree view of all of that communication with your clients and leads. And then we're seeing how we can create forecasting reports and dashboard reports, looking at the analysis of the data from our CRM. Okay, so thank you very much for joining today's Next Level CRM webinar. I hope you found this useful. Here are a selection of our up and coming webinars. We're here every other Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. UK time. If you have any questions in the meantime, please do contact us, sales@intraface.com, and one of our team will be happy to help. And you can also register for our webinars here, or please do visit our YouTube channel. I've added the link into the chat window where we can go through, and you can then see any of the videos as well. Thank you for your time today, and bye for now.